weekend. Let's see if the live stream is running on YouTube and X. Let's go check it out. Let's go check it out. Let me know if the audio isn't up loud enough. For whatever reason, OBS is saying that it's connected to my default, and usually it says my AirPods. So I want to make sure it's up enough. Let me know if the audio isn't up loud. It sounds like it's echoing, so I wanted to say, or it sounds like I'm in like an empty room. So I think it is coming through the wrong mic. But hopefully you guys can still hear me just fine. The audio is not good. Let me know, and I'll try and change it. What's up? What's up? Audio's good? Okay, cool. Good evening. Good evening, Natalie. I hope you're doing well. What's up, Raleigh Hernandez? Country Green Property. Let's go. No, see, one of the options I can click on is for the webcam. Like here, it'll change it to this mic right now here in a second. So now you have to let me know if this sounds better or worse. But I believe it just switched to this one. So let me know if it's good. We are live on X and YouTube. Let me go ahead and send out the link. If you're watching this live right now on X, please do like and repost it. I would greatly appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, welcome. If you're not on the YouTube, go over to the YouTube side real quick. Give it a like and subscribe. Sometimes quality can be better on YouTube versus X as well. So go check that out anyways. But I did just switch the mic over, so let me know if it sounds better or worse. If it sounds worse, I'll switch it back. If it sounds better, then I'll leave it. But we are in for a short week this week, obviously, because today is Monday, and we're doing a Monday Night Live instead of a Sunday Night Live. Market is looking a bit bloody as of right now. During the over the weekend overnight session so far, you do have futures gapping down some. ES sitting around 6,900. So I believe when I looked at it, it was down here Wednesday, January 14, when ES is around 69, like 20-ish area. I want to say that correlates with the low from Wednesday on SPY, which is around 686. So as of right now, I believe SPY is in this area right here on this gap down currently. So if the market was open right now, you would see SPY just below this 686 area, I believe. Better sounds great. Better for me. Better. Awesome. Sweet. Liv, welcome to Sunday Night Lives with Casey Trades. If you're new here, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification button so you don't miss any upload or live stream. I appreciate you, Liv, or Monday Night Live, MNL. I think this is the first MNL. So, looking at the economic calendar as of right now, obviously, today market being closed for holiday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Tuesday, tomorrow, there was nothing scheduled on the economic calendar, which is good. Wednesday, you have some delayed data coming in for construction spending, but then at 10 a.m. Eastern time, you're going to have pending home sales data. Thursday is going to be your biggest one, most likely, that most people are going to be looking at. So Thursday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we're going to have initial jobless claims. We're going to have GDP at 10 a.m. We're going to have delay reports for personal income and personal spending, and then PCE as well, year over year and core PCE coming in at 10 a.m. Eastern as well. Friday, you have consumer sentiment and S&P flash U.S. services PMI. So that's about it. The main one I think that most people are going to be looking at is going to be Thursday. That's where you're going to have your initial jobless claims, your GDP, and then your PCE data all coming out. Again at 8:30 a.m. and then 10 a.m. Eastern on Thursday, January 22nd. Other than that, we're pretty clear for the week on data. So short week, only one day of somewhat decent data. Going into this week, we do have some earnings coming up. We have 3M tomorrow morning. You also have US Bank, USB, and you have DR Horton, DHI. After the close, these are probably the ones that most people are going to be looking at. You have Netflix after the close tomorrow. You have IBKR and United Airlines, ticker UAL. Wednesday before the bell, you have J&J. You have Ally and Schwab. Thursday, have PG. We have GE and FCX. After the close on Thursday, you have Capital One, COF, and then you have ISRG, and then you have the big one, Intel, INTC. That is it. Main ones for earnings this week. So for me, it's going to be interesting looking at Netflix tomorrow after the close. J&J before the open on Wednesday, and then Thursday before market open. Honestly, for me, I'm looking at FCX, and then after the close is INTC. Those are the only main ones for earnings. So nothing too crazy on the earnings calendar or the economic calendar. So I think we're in for a potential maybe slower week overall. You don't have any of like all your main banks already reported, your JPMs, your Morgan Stanley, your Goldman Sachs, your Bank of America. All of them already reported, and obviously we don't have any big tech that is going to be reporting earnings as well. So the new expiration options for the Max 7, yeah, it's going to be interesting. The fact that they are going to be doing freaking handing out crack cocaine to traders every single day that like to do 0DTE options. For me personally, am I going to be buying them? No. Will I be selling them? Most likely. So if for an option seller like myself for 0DTE options, I think that can be great. So if I see relative strength or relative weakness on a specific Mag 7 name that is absolutely having a great morning, while others are having terrible mornings, maybe that's leading Qs to be kind of choppy and stuck in the zone because half of tech is ripping, the other half's falling, little things back and forth. But if you see relative strength in Microsoft or relative weakness, whatever it is, I mean, if you want to trade 0DTE options just like any other day with SPY, Qs, SPX, IWM, whatever it is, but being able to do that on some of these Mag 7 names, fantastic. For me, I do not trade SPY or QQQ 0DTEs. I do sell 0DTE options. So I've done it before on SPY and Qs, and right now I'm doing it on SPX. So being able to sell options on some of those names would be very interesting. Like Meta, you can probably go far out of the money on Meta, sell some options, collect some decent premium. Meta is a little bit higher volatility stock, so with that volatility being a little bit higher on a name like Meta and being able to sell 0DTE options, if it has relative strength, being able to open up a potential put credit spread on Meta 0DTE, you can probably catch an easy 40, 50, 60%, and then let that thing probably honestly expire by the end of that day for a full 100% profit. Never even have to take any trims, or for me, I usually sell half around that 40, 50% and let the other half expire. And you don't have to worry about theta killing your 0DTE options because that's how the selling part works for credit spreads. So normally if you were to take meta calls instead, you stay in them all day, it pulls back a little bit, you're going to lose that value very quick. Theta is going to kick in, it's going to burn your contracts. The plus side for being an option seller, if I sell them, the theta actually works in my favor. So if it goes in that direction, I make money. If it goes in that direction, it pulls back, goes flat, and burns the premium off those contracts, I still make money. So I'm not too interested or worried about it, honestly, for some of these Mag 7 names getting 0DT options. I'm most likely just going to be selling them and never buying them. So that's just my personal strategy and everything on it. So let's go ahead and jump into a few things. Let's see. Ooh, Michelle says she grabbed IWM puts right at the close. Let's go. Those are going to be try plus 400%. Let's fucking go. If you bought like like Tuesday or Wednesday expiration, probably be pretty nice. So for me, SPY, you can probably just draw this trend line that's right here, holding these higher lows. Again, I do think we're underneath. We did break structure most likely on SPY, and I want to say where SPY is currently at, it would be under 686. So for me down here is 683.3 area. That's mainly where I'm going to be looking for buyers to step in and defend here, looking at the higher time frame chart. So that is going to be all right. This zone about there-ish. Kind of want to pinpoint this a little bit better, like there-ish. So want to see SPY kind of come down to this area right here, back test it, see if buyers step in, push the price action back up, go back up and retest somewhere between 686 and 689 potentially on SPY. Other than that, not really too interested. I would 100 expect buyers to step in, defend that area down there near 683, 682. But underneath that, I don't think looks good for SPY. 680 and then 676. 675 can come later if market does continue downside. Actually, if you look into the 4-hour chart right here in the previous session, you could articulate a little bit of a head and shoulders right there. Very interesting. I'm not sure how many people maybe saw that, but I think you could have articulated a little bit of a head and shoulders right there on SPY's 4-hour chart going into the close of previous session. So main thing for me, again, going to be watching this area, just kind of right down here on SPY. That'll be the main thing that I'll be watching. If we can get any kind of sweeps underneath that area here, and if buyers do step in and play the bounce, take it back up to retest this area here up to about this area right here. So the only way I go short is on the break, the retest, and the rejection, back testing this area. The only way I go long is buying the dip down here if I do see that sweep and reclaim and see a nice strong push by buyers down there. That's going to be the only two things I'm mainly going to be looking at SPY going into next session. For QQQ, the 619, honestly, area was 619 down to 616.50 at the lowest for QQQ. Again, if we're looking at where futures are currently sitting at, if it is breaking or down there near, you know, that Wednesday low, that means Qs as of right now is sitting underneath 615, which as of right now is no bueno. That is not good for QQQ. So you do have the low back from here. This is the start of 2026. This is going to be that Friday session. So Qs going into that was at 610. So honestly, Qs, I mean, looking good, higher lows all right here. But if it is going to lose that 615 and it opens up below that tomorrow and we continue down, I don't see why you just don't see a straight $5 shot downside. Just continuation. So underneath 615, going to be targeting down here closer to the 2026 low as of right now, which would be that Friday, January 2nd, the first session of the year, which is at 610.15. Other than that, kind of same thing. I'd be looking for buyers to step in around 610 and then take it back up to the 615 to 616 area on QQQ, and then potentially look for rejections and sellers to step in right there. But that's the only two spots that I'm interested in looking at for SPY and QQQ going into next session. So I did send out a few charts already on a few of these names, but I'm going to cover them here live for the people that have not looked at any of the charts that I did send out. So a few of them I'm looking at mainly for upside. Some of these are dumpster diving names, and I'll explain that here in just one second. But the Rigatoni stock right here, you do have an interesting chart here on the daily. So you do have these lower highs that it's finally breaking out of, and it put in this higher low after creating this base down here just between 21, 22 bucks. So it is now forming a squeeze here on the daily chart. So it is in day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's been in 5 sessions in a daily squeeze that is moving to the upside, and it has not fired at all. Your MACD is also bullish during that time of it creating those lower highs here on the chart. Let me drop this thing down. When it was creating this lower high trend line right here, your RSI was actually putting in some bullish divergence. So I like seeing that kind of structure here whenever there is a squeeze building. And again, it did break the lower high trend line and is in like tight consolidation right here around 25, 26 bucks. So starts to push back over 26, 27. Going to be looking for a move out of this area and get a big shot back up to about 30 bucks. So test back to these highs from December. And also, so if it breaks this spot right here, again, if it goes to 30, 31 area right up here, a volume profile is going to line up with the highs from right up here. So going to be looking for, and if you just mark 30 bucks on the chart, that's going to take you to there. So going to be looking at RGTI potentially for a breakout over around 26, 27 bucks, targeting about $30 area. Also within that same area is going to be IONQ. It is not breaking the trend line yet, but it is attempting to right now. So very similar. You have the lower high trend line, you have the higher low trend line, and you have tight consolidation. Look at this daily chart right here, this consolidation of these trend lines on IONQ. Go to RGTI, right? Very similar setups. Look at that consolidation right here, right? So same thing on IONQ. You go to your daily chart, look what it has. Oh shit, where'd it go? There it is. Absolutely put it on the top pane. So you are now going in day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, a week straight of in a squeeze consolidation moving to the upside. And the previous one has now finally flipped light blue, which is very bullish. So looking at the MACD, also bullish. During this price action over here, had bearish divergence. Now it's trying to put in a little bit of bullish divergence. Makes perfect sense with the chart because the trend line was putting in lower highs right here and then higher lows, so just a little bit of divergence both ways. Your breadth on the daily chart is negative or is positive as well. So going from negative to positive on a lot of things right here, especially the squeeze, which was underneath the zero line being negative and just flipped positive. So the only thing it is fighting is the lower high trend line. So looking for honestly a break and close above 51.50 to 52 bucks on the higher time frame, looking for a moonshot to the previous highs right up here. Going to be with the volume profile that lines up at 55 bucks. So very similar setup to RGTI is here on IONQ for potential upside. I do not trade this name a lot, but this is ticker FANG. So one thing that I'm going to be interested in this week is going to be looking at your sectors. So make sure you do have all of your sectors and your pulled up over here on TradingView. So I'm going to be interested to see in when you're looking at SPY Qs, and if you have the pullback in Mag 7, right, where the rotation that you're going to see in which sectors are going to be very positive this week, if any are going to be positive, right? I think looking at a few other names, I think we can see a little bit of strength over here in XLE. So potentially see some energy names. I'm going to cover another one here in just a second, but FANG is one of them. It did just get a nice push to the upside. It is also in a daily squeeze, moving to the upside. Very similar to IONQ, in which it has been in a squeeze for a few days, and the previous one just flipped above the zero line and went bullish. Your MACD has also curled and flipped bullish. Your RSI was down here about 35. It is now above 50, above the neutral line, which is good. So I like seeing those things being lined up with each other. And you're getting the break, and then this is the back test right now that is getting around this $150 area. So previously, you get a lot of big reactions at this area. It finally got the huge rip out of it, came back down, reclaimed it, bounced around. Huge candles always coming in at this area. So on the pullback, retesting your daily 9, your 21, your 50, and your 200 are all in that circle right there. You have the purple line right here. You have the blue line, the orange line, and the white line. That is your 9, your 21, your 50, and 200. All back testing near that area here on FANG, near that 150, while building the squeeze and moving to the upside. So got the break, pullback. I think this is a really good entry potentially for an SR flip area, lower risk, higher reward target setup. I think you can see at least a decent move back up to retest these previous highs near at 154, 155. If it wants to, get crazy, then go back up near this 157 to 160 cycle level at the top. So risking, potentially closing underneath maybe $1.50 downside, like 148.50 for targeting back up to at least, 156. So if it's at 150, you want $6 upside. Let's say you even risk $2 downside, right? So it's a 1 to 3 risk to reward. Not bad. You're going to risk losing $300 and make $900. Those are the kind of trades that I like to look at. So keep an eye on FANG. Another one is Duke Energy. So Duke Energy, higher lows. This could just be one giant freaking bear flag, and it is at the spot where it can absolutely get smacked right here. So near this 119, 120 area, this is a spot where this thing can absolutely get smacked. Looking at the daily chart, it has been in a squeeze for 7 days. And it has been bullish the entire time above the zero line. Your MACD has been positive. Your RSI has been increasing. So this name is looking very good for potential continuation upside. I think if Duke can get above this 119, 120, it does have potential to get the squeeze to go upside closer to about 123, 124. So essentially breaking above this area right here and getting the move up to this area here. So again, for a potential swing trade, and if energy is going to be strong at any point in time, going long here, risking closing underneath, targeting back up to at least, and we'll say even from 123 to 124, we'll do smack dab right there in the middle. That risk reward is 4.25. We can even bring that down and we'll say that's 4. So you have a 1 to 4 risk reward ratio right there. So I can risk losing $250 for a max profit of 1,000. Right, that's a good risk to reward trade right there. So keep that one in mind. Let me toggle this over real quick. Dadgummit, I think my mouse just disconnected. the computer screen. What the helly? Boy, what the helly? Let me see. Duke, Fang, IONQ, RDTI. There's a few other ones that I posted on X as well. I do want to cover two other ones here in a second. Let me see which ones I posted on X. If you haven't gone over to my X profile and looked at these, go take a look at them. OKLO, I sent that one as well. That is a similar chart setup to Fang with the pullback and the retest. I'll pull up OKLO here in just a second with UPS and FedEx for potential downside. So I know a lot of these charts I'm showing you right now, I kind of have a little bit more bullish bias, I guess I could say, on it. And the market's like dying right now potentially overnight. Where is ES right now? Is ES still at 6,900? ES is at 6,904. So not terrible. It's about what, 18, 19 points underneath Wednesday low. We're actually sitting closer to the low from, well, the low on January 5th is actually 6,900. So, which is Monday, January 5th. The low from that January 2nd, the first trading session on Friday, January 2nd is 66.75. So like 40 plus points lower. So it is at Monday, almost at Monday, January 5th lows right now. So that'll be interesting if we end up breaking underneath that. But let's see. These are the dumpster diving ones that I sent earlier. There's FedEx. Keep an eye on Apple. Apple, me and Will talk about Apple for a minute when Apple was probably, oh my God, I think Apple was still in the 270s. I think it had just lost like that 271.83 level up there, coming down the 270 cycle level. I think it had just lost that area there. And me and Will were on Spaces talking about like, yeah, 265, and then I mean all the way back down to 255. And now Apple after that, I mean it dropped 15-16 bucks, and here it is, it's sitting at 255. There is a small gap to fill, just a little bit lower. This is probably one of the ugliest charts I would say right now within the market is going to be Apple. I think it's been a great short swing consolidation that it just had on the daily after the first move down from the 270 to 260 area. It just created a bear flag, and it just broke the bear flag down, and you do have this gap to fill from over here. I want to say that's from going from October into November session, which is going to take it down to 253.19. So it's only $2 lower, but I do think there's potential for a little bit more downside on Apple, as well with Microsoft as well. So Microsoft on the daily chart had a decent move going from 515 all the way down to like 475-ish area. And then it bounced back up to 490, came back down to 475, and just kind of went back and forth, and essentially just kind of created another kind of bear flag, and then just got a breakdown underneath 470, and stock is now sitting just underneath 460 area. So there is some support down here. I would like to see a little bit more of a move down on Microsoft as well, closer to the 450 area. So about $10 more downside on Microsoft, I think, is in play, and then start looking for longs, in my opinion. And then same thing for Apple. I'm not interested in longs right now on Apple. I think Apple's going to continue to go down a little bit lower. You say tomorrow should be the best day in stock market history. What's Glitch talking about? So I do think you have a little bit lower on Apple as well. Apple can go down, fill that gap 253, potentially sweep underneath that, hit 250 cycle level, and maybe get a decent bounce there after the little extension that's going to happen to the downside. So keep Apple and Microsoft on watch for potential a little bit more downside. Now, depending on how these names open up tomorrow, if the stock market is absolutely still very weak, we could see Apple open up tomorrow sub 250. You could see Microsoft open up tomorrow sub 450. That is 100% in the cards. So I would keep those two on watch down there. But here's another kind of off the wall name right now is GILD. So kind of breaking this trend line right here for lower highs on the daily and putting in higher lows as well off that 117.2 at the low, but now back over this kind of area, this point of control on the daily chart around 123, and it's pushing up near 125. I think if it starts getting a move back over 125, 126, go back and target those highs closer to 128 up to 129. This name is also in a squeeze, and that's a very strong daily candle. I mean, it's a very strong daily candle with the lower bottom wick and a green hammer potentially on it. So keep this name. I've never traded GILD. I don't think ever. I glance at it from time and time. On my Webull watch list, I have 235 different stocks that are on there, and I just cruise through daily charts. And this was one that I came across, and I was like, that was a strong daily close that it had on it. And I saw the lower highs and it looked like it would be potentially breaking out of this chart as well. So keep this name on watch. Let me see if I can get this thing to connect. There you go. And there's your daily squeeze with it right there. So it has not flipped bullish. It is still relatively flat right here. Your MACD is kind of back and forth. It's flipping. It just flipped positive. Your RSI is increasing a little bit as well. So this is not the most purdy chart that's out there, but definitely just another name to keep on watch. Again, if SPY and Qs are flat, text all over the place, you find these individual names that can have these relative strength moves. This is one I think to keep on watch. So OKLO, I did send this one out. Let me turn volume on, you'll see that. So OKLO, if you mark the swing low from Wednesday, December 31st, going up to this swing high where it kind of double topped at from this high right up here, right? You mark that area, beautiful, perfect rejection, got slammed straight back down, is now sitting at the daily 9, 21, and 50, all right here around this $93 area. That is also going to be your 50% retracement from swing low to swing high. That is right here. And on this retracement that it's getting and holding currently right at those areas, you did have a nice increase in volume here. So all these previous days right here, so when it double topped right here, this was a beautiful sell candle on high volume, straight to the downside. Fantastic. Stock went from 106 all the way down to $92, right? So $14 downside. Look at the volume though on all of those days. They kind of stayed relatively flat and the same as price was moving down. And then boom, you get a nice increase in volume here as this area is being tested right at that 50% retracement. So if you're looking for any kind of support bounce on OKLO for good risk reward entry to go long, I am going to be watching this one going into the week. So keep this one on watch. This is the dumpster diving name. This is going to be Sony. So Sony, go to your monthly chart. It is sitting at the monthly 21 right now, coming back into the lows from June and July of 2025, which was previous resistance back in 2021 and 2022. It has held the monthly 21. The last time it closed underneath of it, I believe probably right here of June 2024. And it's been above your 9 and 21 EMA for the entire time, and recently just broke the 9 and is coming down to the 21. So your RSI is your MACD as of right now. It is on the verge of absolutely crossing and flipping bearish. Your RSI was at 70, it's coming back to 50 around the neutral level. You'd want to see that neutral level hold. If it breaks 50, can get the move downside, go a little bit lower, closer to 30. So you could see that support bounce right here in this area. So here's those lows right back over here, and you'll see when that area was tested here, right, and it held, it got the big reaction off of it. Stock went all the way up here, closer to 29 bucks. So potentially coming into this area again, which is lining up with the monthly 21 to get the move to go back up as well. So already speculating this right here, just looking at the chart. If it does bounce there, if it does bounce right here, if it bounces back up, if it gets up to about $27 and rejects, it could form a head and shoulders. So you do have an area of support, get a target upside. So holding around, 23.75, 24 bucks, risking just underneath that, I think is decent spot. Risk to reward, it's a really tight risk to reward trade. And even just going back up to these highs from right over here, dragging that over, your risk to reward right now on that trade, I'll bring it down a little bit. That's 7. That is a 1 to 7 risk reward trade. That's losing 200 bucks to make 1,400. That's risk losing 100 bucks to make 700. That is a really, really good risk reward trade. Again, this is a dumpster diving trade. By that, I mean this chart looks like a straight dumpster freaking fire. It looks like trash. It looks like shit. It's terrible. But sometimes when those names look like that, it could be a good opportunity to look for buyers to step in at those areas. So I don't really trade this name too often. Again, dumpster diving name, but keep Sony on watch. Very similar to Sony is going to be your DDOG. DDOG is coming into monthly trend line in your monthly 50, right around 115 area after playing out a beautiful evening start to the downside. 9 times out of 10, next candle's red, and boom, it got red candle continuation. So coming down to this area right here around 115, I think this could be after this huge sell-off right here. I think this could be another name that can get a good bounce down here near this 115, 116 area. It's not quite there, but keep that one on watch for potential downside. This one's also by Will. Shout out to Will for Intuit. He talked about this on the Friday Spaces, but Intuit, INTU. So massive drop on the weekly chart. Stock is down minus 15 or 16% in the last week, and huge consolidation, and it just freaking squeezed and fired to the downside. And look, it was in a squeeze. See right here, it was in a squeeze 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, and it never flipped bullish, and it fired to the downside. This is why I like looking at MACD and RSI with those, because what was the MACD doing the entire time? The MACD had been red and was going lower the entire time. Look at your RSI. Your RSI was staying underneath 50, the neutral line right there. And on the previous name, I said if it goes to 50, right, you want to see it bounce, because if it doesn't, it can sell and go to 30. It could not get above 50, consolidated. It never broke above it to go higher, and it sold off. Where is it at? 32, right? So this is what you want to see for downside. And opposite of that is all those other charts, your RGTIs, your IONQs, your FANG, your Dukes, those names that have those squeeze going to the upside, your MACD, your RSI, all those things doing the exact opposite of this chart, right? So INTU was a great squeeze and move to the downside. It is now coming down to April 7th lows, which I don't know about you guys. I use the April lows a lot. That was when we had that mini market crash, and I do a lot of fib levels off that area, but the low of that is 532 area, and the low of this candle right down here is around 535. So coming back into that same area, last time the stock hit this area, buyer stepped in, it had a really nice move to the upside. Not saying history is going to repeat itself, but if that is where buyers were previously present, it is a great spot risk reward to look for buyers to step back in again and pop this thing back up near 660. So not saying the stock is going to get a $100 bounce from this area, but for a new risk to reward trade for a potential swing long or even equity, I know this is a little high price name for shares, but risk to reward, I mean, it's not a bad dumpster diving name. So keep INTU on watch. Casey Trades being a trash panda for trade with Sony. I like, when's the last time in Discord you've ever seen me chart, trade, and alert anything with Sony? Absolutely freaking never. So I'm going to leave you guys with these last two names right here. This is going to be your FedEx and UPS. So go to your FedEx chart, go to your monthly, zoom out very, very far, and go look at the highs from June of 2021. And you also have a high right here from July of 2024. Okay, now go to your weekly chart. All right, you'll see these areas were tested previously here and up here. Right, look what happened with the stock. Downside. What happened with the stock? Downside. All right, we are now testing that same spot right now. All right, so this is the weekly. I know it says daily evening star. We're on the weekly chart. Look at the weekly candle. That is a red shooting star right here at the high of FedEx. Go to your daily. There is your evening star right here. So you have a daily evening star. You have a weekly shooting star at this same area of resistance from all previous price action. Again, not saying that stock's going to drop down to 204 from 307. That's going to drop $100. Previous price action shows the last two times this area was tested and rejected, the stock did in fact drop $100. So just keep FDX on watch. If you go to the sister named UPS, all right, go to your weekly chart. I sent this one out as well. And I was long UPS down here in the 80s with a target of 100. This thing went to 110, fantastic. Big support in February 2025, right here. Big reaction, got a nice pop off it. Break of structure, got this huge red candle, slapped it straight through. Consolidation, this thing died all the way down to here. It is now coming back up and testing this previous area of support and rejecting. This is going to be your SR flip. Previous support tested and is now acting as resistance, rejecting that area. So if FedEx starts to pull back down, you could see potentially, sister name UPS also in that same area start to pull back down and get a move back down to $100, at least for, at least a little scalp, retest some of these daily moving averages after this big, massive move that it did just have on the weekly chart. What is it, last week or previous week, 2 weeks ago? So little spinning top, doji, whatever you want to call it here on previous week. The one before that, nice move to the upside. So little overextension move, retesting an area of potential resistance and get a potential move back downside. Again, this is just one of those trades where you're looking to go short, risk closing right over top of that, at least targeting back down within this area. That puts you almost at a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio trade. So risk losing $200 to make 600. Those are the kind of steps that you're looking for. So keep UPS on watch with this potential chart right here on FedEx. So never, Michelle, I know, Sony, never done it. Never alerted or charted this thing. So but how many times, Michelle, whenever I cover a name like that, right, does it end up working out? If you see me never talking, charting, or trading a name, and all of a sudden you're like, what the hell is Casey talking about his stock? I've been in this freaking Discord with him or hanging out with him for a year or two. He's never once talked about this thing, right? So now when I bring it up, why do I bring it up? Because there was a big area of opportunity there with, you know, the chart in which it currently has. So, and most of the time, whenever I do bring out these random freaking off the wall names that I've never touched or don't trade, it usually ends up pretty good. So we'll see. But that's it for me, guys. I appreciate you all. Again, RGTI, IONQ, Fang, Duke, your dumpster divers, Datadog, INTU, now, as well. I sent this one out, very similar to INTU, right? Team can also be another one, very similar to now on INTU. Look, big reactions down here near this 115 area. Look what previous price action shows. Bounce, buyer step in, bounce, buyer step in. We are now testing the area again. Do I ever trade team? Do I ever chart team? No. So why am I doing it now? There is area of opportunity for a lower risk and higher reward trade setup there. All right. So keep these kind of names on watch. If you're watching this freaking live stream right now, yeah, what I'm going to suggest you do right now is, one, write this shit down, screenshot, you know, the screen right now that has my watch list right here on it. Go look at these things, do your own DD. Use everything that's given to you. So we covered a lot tonight. OKLO, again, I like that one for the bounce. Sony, I think that one can get a good bounce. That's the dumpster diving. And then FedEx and UPS, I think, have opportunity for a little bit of downside if they reject that area. So keep all these names on the watch. We have some bullish charts. We have some bearish charts. So never trade with a bias. Trade with what the market is giving you. Trade which names and sectors have relative strength and relative weakness, telling you where the money and volume is currently at, to trade honestly the best opportunities within the market that we're given. So that's it for me, guys. Appreciate you all. Netflix to the upside. Oh, Michelle, look at that. She's here in the live stream. She's also here right now in the premium Discord. Michelle's all over the place. I freaking love it. If that's the same Michelle, I'd imagine it is. She said JOBY. I have this chart, look, already on here for JOBY. My bottom zone on JOBY is 12.50 to 13 bucks. My resistance zone upside is 16.20 to 17 bucks. My midpoint is 15. So looking at the chart here, I would say you have a nice move to the upside. You could articulate, you know, this consolidation. This could be, you know, a flag right here. As long as it continues to hold your daily 21 and 50 area right here near the bottom of the flag, get the breakout, try and break back over 16, push the top of it for 17. I would expect some rejection up within that area, Michelle, right here. So if you're looking for potential longs on JOBY, you know, getting into this area here, say at the daily 9, risking underneath 15 down to say 14.65 near your daily 50, and you want to target back up to at least 17 bucks, that puts you at almost a 3.5 risk reward trade. So you're going to risk losing $100 to make 350. You're going to risk losing, you know, $200 to make 700. That's not a bad risk reward trade if you're looking for longs. Going into the weekly chart right here on JOBY, it is back above your weekly EMAs as well. It is in a squeeze. It's been in a squeeze for a minute. That has been leaning to the downside. Your MACD on your weekly chart is also bearish. Your RSI has had bearish divergence as well. So a lot of things are still looking negative and bearish. The squeeze has yet to fire at all while it's been downside for so long. If things start to still consolidate, which this is my guess, and it's not just trying to continue to be bullish on JOBY, but if it continues to reject the top zone, right? If it continues to reject the top zone and hold the bottom zone, right? and it stays, the longer it stays within this range, the longer it just continues to build that squeeze, right? Just keeps doing this back and forth. That squeeze right here is just going to keep on building, building, and building. If it continues to hold above 15 of the daily moving averages and stay inside this box, if your MACD, your RSI, and your squeeze start to curl back upside and start to flip green and go bullish while doing so, that is what you would want to see, to look for, to finally take out the top zone to get the break over $17 and squeeze that bad boy to the upside. If it continues to reject 16, 17 and it comes back underneath, loses the daily EMAs again and starts getting to move back down to the downside while building that squeeze, you could expect potentially that bottom to fall out, squeeze under 13, and then get a big move to the downside. So opportunity there, whichever way it does go for downside or upside. As of right now, the stock is stuck and flat. The higher time frame is, as of right now, showing bearish, and that honestly is just because if you look at the previous price action up here, it made a lower low, it bounced, put in a lower high, came back down, made a lower low, made a lower high. Now it's putting in a higher low, a little bit higher high, pulling back down. So larger picture, bearish, smaller picture right here, bullish, while stuck between two zones. So it's one of those charts that I think just needs a little bit more time. And once it starts to get more time and set up whichever direction the previous next price action shows, take out some of this previous price action higher lows, and that squeeze will fire, and you'll get your answer. So I think it just needs more time on JLBY. Absolutely. So good evening. Are we YOLO puts on SPY and Q? Who the hell just said that? Are we YOLO puts on SPY and QQQ tomorrow? That, my friend, is something called FOMO, and absolutely fucking not. Just because you see all this stuff going on Twitter, on social media, and what you're seeing within the after hours price action, the downside move that you see on SPY and QQQ, that doesn't mean the market's dead, the whole thing's crashing. Michael Burry said we're going to zero. Let's just YOLO and full port puts. Yeah, absolutely not. I don't know who we is, but for me, again, I like taking lower risk, higher reward trade setups. So instead of buying puts at the lows when it's already been selling off, you would look for buyers to step in at those lows and keep a tighter stop and trade for the move back up. It could be a short at another time. I'm not going to buy the short at the low after a huge sell. Again, you would want to see buyers step back in when they go retest an area that's above it, catching that move back upside, put in that lower high, reject. That's where I want to go short. So for me to full port YOLO FOMO puts tomorrow, I want to see this market bounce, go straight back up to an area of potential resistance, see sellers step back in, and do that SR flip, do that lower high rejection, print that evening star, shooting star, testing that area. Then I go short on SPY QQQ. That's what you want to do. You don't want to FOMO. So love you all. Appreciate you. I don't know how many people tuned into the session. I just made a Kick and Twitch account as well. So I'm going to get the restream connected to that. Right now we're just on X and YouTube. So I'm going to connect it to the Kick and Twitch eventually as well. So someone said, can you speak louder, please? Hard to hear you. I hope everyone had heard me this entire time, and maybe it was just you. Look, my man said, preach. So about 1,500 people tuned into the Monday Night Live session. Appreciate all 1,500 people who took time out of their Monday night to come hang out with me and look at some charts. Hopefully some of these charts, some of this homework can help some people moving forward into the week that we have. Let's have a great trading week. Remember, biggest and most important data, again, is going to be Thursday. And it's a short week, just Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, mainly for me. 3 solid trading days, Friday for FAFO Friday for fun. But yeah, that's it. If you're watching this on X, again, please like and repost it. This is recorded and will be saved to my X account. It will be saved onto my YouTube channel as well. But for the people who couldn't attend this session live, if they want to watch this charting session, this homework and everything that we just did here tonight, later tonight, whenever they have more time, or at any point in time between now and next market open, they can review and watch this recording. So the more people that like and repost it, the easier it is to find. It is free to do so, so I do highly encourage everybody right now, please just hit the like and repost button. That is all that I ask for this free live trading charting session. So love and appreciate 1,500 people who tuned into this. And if you're watching this recording later on tonight or tomorrow morning before next market open, I hope you found this very just helpful, some insight, something provided to you. So, all right, guys, I'm out. Love you all. Michelle, appreciate you attending tonight in the Discord and over here on the live stream. You're an OG Discord member. Appreciate you. She said, thanks for the info, of course. So, Henry, I see you typing. I'm going to take you guys to say that you're here as well. Love you, Henry. So, if you want to come hang out with the Casey Trades Premium Discord team, it's not only myself, it is myself. I have 4 other amazing alert analysts for options trading and futures trading, ES, NQ, mainly NQ on the futures side. But we have amazing day trade, swing trade, options traders in there with myself live streaming, live charting every single day within the Discord. And I will be trading, I trade like 6 accounts overall, but I'm going to be actively trading 3 accounts every single day right now. Be trading my main account in the Discord. I'm restarting the next account challenge. So we did the small account challenge for the swing trading, took 5K to 10K. That same account, we are now going to do the SPY and QQQ day trading challenge, and then I still have my credit spread challenge as well for my SPXs. So small account challenge for day trading SPY and QQQ, credit spread challenge for selling SPX credit spread options, and then my normal trade channel for all of my other normal day trades and swing trades on whatever it may be. These names here: RGTI, IONQ, Datadog, Intuit, Apple, Microsoft, FedEx, UPS, all these other names going into my other alert channel. So we have a lot of things going on and a lot of things, honestly, to offer within the Casey Trades Discord. We have 9,300 people in there right now. So you can click the link in my bio. There should be a website up here on the screen as well. You can get yourself a 7-day free trial. Come hang out, see if the Casey Trades Premium Discord team is the right community for you. I highly encourage everybody to get involved in a trading community. Is one of the best things you can do. Surround yourself with a bunch of other amazing traders and analysts. If you hang out with 9 amazing traders, you're going to be the 10th. You hang out with 9 millionaires, you're going to be the 10th. That's just how it is. You just surround yourself with a good team. So hopefully our team is the right place for you. Again, you can get yourself a 7-day free trial and see if it is. Why not? It's fucking free. So, and if you want to stay, then hell yeah. We sing, we tell jokes, we chart, we make money every single day, all day, from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is what I do every single freaking day in the Premium Discord. So if you like someone to sing to you while live streaming their charts, telling dad jokes, talking shit back and forth with our Discord members while we're actively trading and making money in the market, hey, this is the place for you if you want to have fun while you're at work. So love and appreciate you guys. Premium Discord team, I'll see you guys live in the morning. I will be a guest speaker on Wolf Trading as well this week, on X Spaces, and then on the YouTube side as well for the back half sessions after lunchtime. But I will be in the Premium Discord trading every single week. Michelle said, and we get to hear you say, you gonna make me trim. And you know that's my favorite one. Shout out to King Faces too in the Discord for always making the funny videos while I'm actively trading and putting them in there. I appreciate you, King Faces. He's probably watching this now if I had to take a guess. So